Hello everybody, TYBW here, and welcome to my review of the SH Figuarts Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, Ichigo Kurosaki, and Byakuya Kuchiki. Okay, baby, yes, we're doing a double review. This is new. I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'm gonna give it a little attempt here. Now I know what you're all saying right now, and I'm gonna address it. DK, you said you hated Bleach. Well, here is my retort to that. I hate the person that I used to be on this channel. I used to say stupid shit like, battle shonens are overrated. I've never enjoyed a battle shonen in my life. Like, the action is just there for the sake of it. That person, I can't stand him. I can't stand watching, like, old clips and videos of myself saying stupid shit like that, because I was such an ignorant freaking moron, dude. I hadn't even watched Naruto back then. So, yeah, please just ignore that that person ever existed. I fucking love Bleach. I grew up with Bleach. It was the first anime that I ever actually watched, like, to completion. It was the very first anime I ever watched. I love it to death. I hate that I went and was, like, trying to be, like, an edgy anime snob for a while there and was like, oh, I hate Bleach. The pacing's terrible. Yeah, newsflash, dude. The pacing of one of your favorite animes of all time is also terrible, dude. So yeah, DK, love Bleach. And with that being said, let's jump into this review. Now, I will also say before we get into this, I still have not watched the 1000-Year Blood War. I do apologize. I haven't done it because it's literally been like 10 years since I watched Bleach. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's literally been 10 years since I watched Bleach. Maybe even longer. So I don't remember a ton of stuff. Like, I don't remember like the very like minor details about Bleach, and I feel like I'm gonna need some of that information. So I feel like I probably need to rewatch the series before I can watch the 1000-Year Blood War. Feel free to weigh in on that in the comments if you think I can just jump into the 1000-Year Blood War with the knowledge that I already have from my first watch 10 years ago. Let me know in the comments, okay? I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. So, with that being said, obviously now that I finally come to my senses and realize that I fucking adore Bleach, it's time to jump into this line. And another reason is because I actually saw some reviews of the brand new Kenpachi, and I thought he looked amazing, and I really wanted to get him, so I just decided to full collect the line. So I got Ichigo, and I got my favorite character in Bleach, Byakuya, and I'll definitely get Renji and Kenpachi next, and we might do a double review of them depending on how this one turns out right here. But I'm doing a double review because there's really not a lot to these guys. They don't really come with that many accessories, but they're very cool. I'll tell you right off the bat, if you're a fan of Bleach, definitely go and get in on this line because it's not doing too hot. So if you want it to continue, if you want more characters, we're going to have to start supporting it. So I definitely wanted to jump in, start supporting it so we can get more characters, man, because we haven't even gotten like any of the original gang, man. We got Ichigo, but we need Uryu, we need Rukia, we need Orihime, and we need my boy Chad, one of my favorite freaking characters. We need Chad. And also, like, Rangiku. Don't even act like you don't want her. I'm also pretty excited that we're getting Toshiro as well. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna get on this line. I don't know why I slept on it. Well, I do know because I was an edgy anime snob. But yeah, I'm done sleeping on this line. I want this line to do well, and I'm going to full collect it. So yeah, let's, without further ado, jump into this review after quite a big intro there. But I feel like I needed to get all of that out there before we jump into this. So we actually need to take a look at the box here. The boxes are pretty cool. You can see they got like a Getsuga Tensho pattern going on right here. The freaking Getsuga Tensho moon right there. Very cool. You got the Ichigo Kurosaki Tensei Zangetsu Bleach Tamashii Nations Bandai. Don't see that studio period logo, so I can't tell them to give me Black Clover figures. Tamashii Nations quality on the side. We have Ichigo Kurosaki SH Figuarts. On the back, we have a bunch of product shots of him in various poses. And then we have a nice picture of him right there. Ichigo Kurosaki, very cool. And then we have Byakuya's box. We have Byakuya. We have that Getsuga Tensho thing. We have Byakuya Kuchiki. Tamashii Nations Seal of Problem. We have Bandai Tamashii Nations Bleach Studio Period. Give me Black Clover figures. And then on the bottom we have a bunch of product shots right here. We got a cool picture of him with freaking Sakura, Senbon Sakura. And then we have a bunch of product shots of him on the back right there, holding Senbon Sakura in all kinds of different ways right there. And then there's some pictures of him on the side right there. As I said, Byakuya is my favorite character in Bleach, so I'm very happy that they gave us him. Although I know that he's easily like one of the most popular characters, so it totally makes sense that they gave us him first. Well, at first, I think it was like the third release. First release, of course, the main character of the series. Who else would it be? And Ichigo here. Okay, so how is Ichigo? I'll tell you right off of the bat that I do think that he was a bit of a mixed first release. I know a lot of people didn't care for him at all, but I've heard a lot of people say that they didn't care for him because of the choice of the outfit that they went with. This is, of course, the 1,000-Year Blood War outfit, and a lot of people probably wanted the original Soul Reaper outfit with, you know, either the Bankai form with the mask, or maybe they wanted him with his original Zanpakuto when it's the gigantic blade, you know, and I understand that. I would like that as well, but personally, I actually really like this 1,000-Year Blood War outfit, and the reason why is because you can see from this half up, it's the Fullbringer outfit. You can see that, and then from this outfit down, it's kind of your standard Soul Reaper outfit, which I think is really cool because, hot take here, I actually really like the Fullbringer arc. I thoroughly enjoyed that one when I was a kid, and I loved the development that it gave Chad specifically, but I also enjoyed the twist villain in that arc, and I just liked it. I don't know, I was very confused to learn that that was a very disliked arc because I thought it was awesome as a kid. With that being said, let's jump into the details here. The head sculpt is pretty good. The individual like orange spikes for his hair, it's good. I mean, it looks like Ichigo. It absolutely looks like Ichigo. He's got those little sections right there. Oh god, that's something we will have to talk about at some point in this video, but he's got these little things right here. I honestly don't know what that's about. I can't remember. Again, it's been 10 years, man. You cannot be, you gotta be reasonable here, man. It's been 10 years. I'm not going to remember every single individual little detail about Bleach, man. But yeah, he's got these little marks right here on the back of the neck. They might be part of the outfit or something, but yeah, very cool. And then moving down to the outfit, like I said, at the top, it's the Fullbringer outfit. You got the little like crossing going on right here and the white underneath. Very cool. And I really dig how the sleeves look because he actually has like gloves on. Gloves are so cool, man. Gloves are just so damn cool. Always wear gloves if you want to look the most badass you possibly can. And I like the white separation between the arms as well. Very cool. And on the back as well, pretty cool. And it goes into the little like leg section really well here, and you can see this kind of goes like this, and this is very similar to Obito because these are very flexible plastic pieces right here. They're not articulated, but yeah, they get out of the way if you want to get them in some crazy poses right there. And then the legs right here, you got the little bow right there for the legs, and then the legs are crazy looking. I mean, this is totally accurate to how the legs look in Bleach, and it is like this on like every character so far, I believe. But yeah, it looks crazy, man. It definitely does, and it definitely is hindered in the articulation department, but you can see they're like super duper thick, and yeah, very chunky and very beefy. And yeah, I personally think it looks cool. Honestly, I do. I think that these legs are really unique, so that adds something to the figures when you put them along with a bunch of other anime characters on your shelf right there. And then you have the little socks right there, and of course the Soul Reaper sandals right there, which are pretty darn awesome. So yeah, I think he looks pretty awesome. For the articulation, he's got some good articulation, although one problem is his face constantly wants to pop off. You can see it doesn't take much for his face to come off. Luckily, they fixed that with Byakuya, and I assume they probably fixed it with Renji and Kenpachi as well. But yeah, unfortunately for Ichigo, the face does pop off pretty darn easily, but it's not that big a deal, you know, you just pop it back on, and it's good to go. But we'll talk about that later when we're doing the final thoughts. There's a ball joint at the neck, so you actually get quite a bit of down right there. Again, not too much up, but you do get a little bit of tilt right there as well, so that's good. For the arms, you do have a nice cave right here for the butterfly, and while the articulation on Ichigo is a little bit hindered in the legs, in the arms, it's actually really good because he does have a full double jointed elbow right there, which is really good. And I will spoil it that Byakuya does not have that, so very cool that he has that double jointed elbow. And then the hands right here, it's your standard SH Figuarts hands, a ball joint going into the hand right there, so you go up, you can go down, and then you can rotate it, get some side to side, everything you need. The ball joint in the torso is super limited. You only get that much. Yeah, it's definitely not good. This is like the same amount that Reno can get, which again confuses me why people hated that Reno figure so much just because of that torso movement, because you can see Ichigo has just about the same amount as Reno, maybe a little bit more. He might have just a tiny bit more. But yeah, arm posability is great. Torso posability probably could have been a little bit better, but there is a ball joint at the base right here as well. It's a little tough to get in there, of course, because you have all this stuff in the way, but if you get in there, you can get some ball joint action in there as well, which is pretty good. So he can get a good amount of crunching forward, which is pretty nice for those awesome Getsuga Tencho poses. And then moving down to the legs right here, you have the legs can go all the way forward right here. They can go back a little bit, but of course these pieces are going to get in the way, of course, but they kind of move out. But yeah, the butt cheek sculpt also gets in the way a little bit, so you're not going to get a ton of back movement right there, but it's still pretty good. There's a ball joint right here at the thigh, which is awesome. That allows for some rotation and some slight movement right there. You only get a 90 degree right here, actually slightly more than 90 degree, just ever so slightly more than 90 degree. And then for the feet, you got some up, some down, some pretty good ankle pivot, and then the toe joint right there. So really good articulation in the legs, despite the fact that they look really like chunky and crazy. So yeah, pretty cool. The way I feel about this figure is the same way I feel about Ichigo as a character. He's good. He's a good boy, you know? He's a nice guy, looks after his friends, but he's nothing extraordinary, nothing special or anything like that. But he's a good guy, and this is a good figure. And now for my boy Byakuya. Now, obviously, he was the first one that I got because is Byakuya is my favorite character. At least he is right now. Maybe on a rewatch it could change, but he is my favorite. He was my favorite character when I was a kid. But again, I could totally see it changing on a rewatch because when you're a kid, you're just like, oh, Byakuya's the coolest dude ever. But you know, if you watch it as an adult, you might see more. You might just see deeper characters. You know, deeper things that you didn't see when you were a kid, and you were just like, oh, dude, he's so fucking cool. But yeah, Byakuya is my current favorite character of the series, so of course I had to get him first. I actually wanted to get him for a very, very long time just because he is my favorite character, and he does kind of hold a special place in my heart, especially as a kid. I remember I even used to draw pictures of Byakuya. I loved him. I was kind of obsessed with him as a kid, honestly. So I was pretty damn happy when they announced him, and I definitely feel pretty ashamed that I waited so long to get him because this figure is very, very good. Now, I don't think I can say definitively that this one is better than Ichigo because I'm totally biased. I love this character. He is my favorite character of the series, and Ichigo probably wouldn't even break my top 10 favorite characters of Bleach. So, yeah, I can't say that because it's totally biased. Of course, I'm going to prefer Byakuya. But overall, he's actually very, very similar to Ichigo, but he has some weaker articulation segments in the arms here. But let's first jump into the sculpting. Starting out with the head sculpt, and honestly, I don't love the default head. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just kind of off. There's just something about it that's kind of off. I think there's a much better face sculpt that I'm going to show you later on in the video, but I don't know. Maybe it's the mouth or the nose. The nose does look really, really, really big. The eyes, I don't know what it is, but this default face just looks a little bit off to me. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but there's a way better face that he comes with included. And then, of course, moving down to his captain's robe right here, of course, Byakuya is one of the 13 Soul Reaper squad captains. I believe he is the captain of Squad 6. And yes, they did a really amazing job on the robe here, and they're doing a ton of captains. Like, they made Ichigo and Renji, and then they just started pumping out captains, man. They did him, Kenpachi, and Toshiro, man. Pretty interesting character selection to go straight for captains instead of giving us, like, Rukia or Uryu or Orihime. But, you know, I mean, they gave me Byakuya, so I can't be mad. But the robe looks really, really good. You can see the gold coming down through here all the way throughout the robe. You have the little things in the back or in the bottom right here looking great. There's a little bit of scuffing right there, but it is a totally white robe, so that's kind of to be expected. Not a big deal in my opinion. He is a Soul Reaper, so the outfit totally could get dirty. You could definitely pass it off as like battle damage. It looks fantastic. These are on the same joints that the MASH figures are, which is pretty cool. They actually are a little bit better because they kind of sit more out than the MASH figures do, so they don't get in the way so much when you're trying to stand him up. You can see it's not too difficult to actually get him standing up, which is very nice. The MASH figures are kind of tough to get standing up. And then, of course, you have his squad number right there on the back. And yes, the hair actually does come out like that, which I don't think was necessary, but definitely is appreciated. But yeah, the captain's robe looks fantastic. And then, of course, his Soul Reaper outfit. Not really much to go over there, you know. Pretty good. Got the nice little white right there in the intersection. You got these awesome little pieces right here for his hand, which are dope as fuck. And then, of course, the torso, of course, the Soul Reaper outfit. Yeah, I mean, if you've seen a Soul Reaper outfit, then you know what to expect. The bow is done pretty well, and the wrinkle work through it is also really, really, really nice. And of course, the Soul Reaper sandals right there. Looking swag as all hell, my boy. Now for the articulation, which is the thing that holds me back from being able to say that this one is better than Ichigo definitively, because, so the articulation, the head is good. He's got actually quite a bit of movement in the head. You'd think he actually would be a little bit more hindered because of Byakuya's hair sculpt, but you can see that these sections do get out of the way, which is super duper nice, so you can get quite a bit of movement right there. Also, I didn't talk about his little hair ornament right here. Yeah, I don't know if I really like this hair ornament that he has in the 1,000-Year Blood War. I definitely prefer the classic little loops that he has right here. That I definitely would have preferred that look, but it's okay. I mean, at least he's got some hair ornament, so he's still Byakuya. But yeah, the head movement is pretty good. I mean, you get some good downward movement with that ball joint at the base of the neck, and then you get some good tilt right there as well. The arms have great butterfly because these sections are, of course, on a nice little section right there, and then the cave allows for a ton of butterfly movement right there, so that's awesome, and it even kind of goes out and covers up that gap right there, so pretty darn awesome there. And then these can also shift down as well, so you get a ton of arm movement just in pretty much every single way. You have a rotation right there at the upper arm, and then you have a 90-degree bend at the elbow right here. I gotta be honest, I don't understand why we gotta give a double, only a 90-degree bend here. And the reason why is because if you compare this to the MASH figures, you can see the MASH figures have a very similar looking sleeve design right there. Kind of comes up like that. Like, yeah, the Soul Reapers are a little bit bigger, but the MASH figures can get full double jointed bend. Well, at least a little bit more than Byakuya does. And it's definitely going to limit your posability a little bit because, yeah, 90-degree bends, man, that does kind of suck. It's kind of excusable because of the design of the character, but I think I am going to have to take off a little bit of points because I do think with a little bit of work, they could have gotten this to get a little bit more movement. But as it is what it is. Of course, the same joints as Ichigo, you know, the ball joint going into the hand. And then, of course, the torso right here. He gets a little bit more than Ichigo, quite a bit actually. He's actually probably reached about the Naruto range, so that is pretty darn good. Ichigo is definitely a little hindered by his outfit right there. So yeah, and then the legs, of course, same as Ichigo, literally the exact same. Can go forward, can go back. Obviously, the captain's pieces right here, these are just like the MASH figures. They can go out like this, so you can have them doing some awesome poses right there, which is super duper cool. And he does, and he can totally support it. You can see, yeah, no problem. There's a ton of weight in the legs here, so it makes it really easy to actually support his weight, even if these things are like totally out like that, which is very cool. I think the captains are probably going to be some of the stronger figures of the line. But finishing up on the leg posability, of course, you got that same 90-degree bend right there, a little bit more than 90. Actually, for him, it might be exactly 90. And then the same feet posability, up and down, ankle pivot, and toe joint right there. So everything that you need. For comparison, here is Ichigo with a bunch of other SH Figuarts shonen protagonists. We got Denji, we got Kafka, we have MASH over here, and of course, the GOAT Naruto Uzumaki. And as you can see, he looks fantastic with all these. Yet again, it's just really awesome that SHF is pretty much just making like every single line except Black Clover. We still need it, but this looks amazing, especially with Naruto, man. I mean, if I had a Luffy, it would be absolutely perfect. Maybe I'll pick up that fucking pre-time skip one that's coming out. Even though I can't get into One Piece to save my life, maybe you'll have a Luffy in here just to complete the trio. Maybe, just maybe. And here he also is with the amazing Yamaguchi Deku and the Figma Yuji Itadori. And now for Byakuya, let's bring in some, like, senseis, you know? I don't know, Byakuya's not really a sensei, but whatever, I'm grasping at straws. So here is the SH Figuarts Kakashi Sensei. Here's the SHF Hidden Inventory Arc Gojo. Here's the SHF Lloyd Forger. We'll just bring in some adults instead. And then I'll just finish it with the amazing Yamaguchi Aizawa over here. So there you go. So you can see how Byakuya scales. Now, I know what a lot of you are going to be saying, that the scale is off because if you look at the Bleach figures here, you can see how much smaller their heads are compared to the rest of the body. However, I actually don't think that's true, except for JJK. JJK scale is definitely a little bit off. But for something like Naruto here, you can see that the length of the width of the... Okay, look here. So you bring in Naruto and Ichigo here now, and it looks a little bit weird because Ichigo's head is so much smaller. smaller. It's not that the scale is off, because you can see like the length of the arms right there, the width of the arms, it's pretty darn similar, of course. Even the feet right there, the Bleach figures might be ever so slightly smaller, but the real thing is just the art styles between these two mangakas. Tite Kubo's art style makes it to where his art style is kind of more realistic than some like Masashi Kishimoto's art style or Gege Akatami's art style. So like that's just something about his art style, is that the heads are just gonna look a little bit smaller compared. Like if you look at Byakuya here, Byakuya is a full-grown adult, and you can see how he scales with Naruto here. You know, that doesn't really look wrong per se. It's just that the art styles don't really match up. It might be ever so slightly smaller, like you can see like even the feet and the hands are a little bit smaller, but again, that's really just all the art style of the mangaka. With that being said, it's time for the accessories, and this is where we're going to make up a lot of time because they really don't come with a lot. We'll start with the alternate faces for Ichigo. So, of course, the default face is your standard stoic face right here. You can see it right here. You know, yeah, it's Ichigo. And then you get my favorite face right here is this kind of slight smirk. I love this one. This one just screams Ichigo to me. I really see his personality in this one. And then you get a nice gritted teeth one right here. I also like this one quite a bit. And then you get this screaming one for those Getsu ga Tensho poses. And my second favorite face is this face right here. I absolutely love it. You can do so much goofy shit with this face. Like, obviously you can use it if you want to have him looking scared or something, but really, like, the memes that you can make with this face are endless. And then for the hands, of course, you got fists on in the package, and you get a pair of relaxed hands, a pair of splayed out hands, and a pair of hands to hold his Zanpakuto. Of course, to swap the hands, it's your usual, pop them off the ball joint and just pop on whichever hand you want to. Absolutely brain dead easy. And the final accessory to come with Ichigo, yes, that is all he comes with, is of course Zangetsu, his Zanpakuto right here. Very, very, very cool. And you can see the design here. Again, I haven't watched the 1,000-Year Blood War yet, but you can see it's like the Bankai sword, but you know, you got some like crazy stuff going on right here. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. Again, it's been 10 years since I watched Bleach, so yeah, I'm not 100% sure what's going on here, but it looks fantastic. You can see the red for the little pieces right here in the handle right there, and then the chain right here looking amazing, that little design right there, and then of course the blade, really awesome. The blade is a nice like thin plastic, and before you go and complain about this, just know I've had this guy fall off the shelf like twice, and both times the sword was fine. If the sword, this long ass sword, was made of a stiff plastic like Byakuya's was, it probably would have broken. So I'm very, very happy with their decision to make this a nice rubbery thing. And in order to put this in his hand, it's a little bit goofy because he has this chain right here. You actually have to thread the chain into the palm right there, and then you can get him holding Zangetsu right there. So very, very cool. And yeah, this is all that Ichigo comes with, but really you can make some pretty damn awesome poses with just Ichigo and Zangetsu right here. It's pretty darn cool. And you can of course get him in some nice Getsu ga Tensho poses as well with the alternate faces like the screaming face or something. Yeah, it's honestly pretty darn cool, honestly. Like, it doesn't come with a lot, but it feels like it comes with a little bit more just because of how damn awesome Zangetsu is, and how much of a presence he has. Like, it's such a crazy ass looking weapon, man. It's very cool. Really makes him stand out on the shelf. And now, of course, from my boy Byakuya, let's change this face, because I just don't like that face, man. So the alternate faces, you get a very fitting, in-character, pissed-off Byakuya face right here. Absolutely love, love, love this one. You get this nice, like, at-peace Byakuya, also a nice one to have. I like this one as well. You get this oh shit face right here. You could probably use, if you want to recreate Byakuya and Ichigo's battle with these figures, even though it's not the right uniforms, you know, you can stay, it's the thought that counts. You can still have some fun with it, recreate their iconic battles, you know. This would be a nice face to have in that situation. But my favorite face, I saved it for last, is this kind of side-eye face right here. I just love this one. This one just totally brings out the Byakuya. And unlike Ichigo, where his face just kind of pops off all the time, Byakuya here, you actually do have to do a little bit here. There's that little seam right there, and you have to separate that hair right there, pop off the face, and you have to get those pegs lined up properly. It's a little bit tough, but yeah, you just got to get it on there, and there you go. So you don't have to worry about the faces coming off on Byakuya, which is definitely a improvement from Byakuya over Ichigo. And just look at this face, man. That is just so freaking Byakuya. I love this one. I'll probably be displaying him with this one 90% of the time. I know it's looking to the side here, but I'm honestly really starting to enjoy looking to the side faces. They're very expressive, and I like them quite a bit. Now, for the hands, of course, you have fists on in the packaging as always. You get a pair of kind of splayed out, kind of relaxed hands. And then you get a pair of super duper splayed out hands. These are going to be a lot of fun to use. Get them in some really cool poses. And then you have this hand. I know it looks like a relaxed hand, but it's actually a hand that's supposed to allow him to hold onto his sheath, which does look very cool. And then you have the hands for holding his Zanpakuto. And just like with Ichigo, pop off the hand and pop on whichever one you want to give him right there. I'm actually going to give him a holding hand on this side. Now, Byakuya does have a few extra little things going on with the Zanpakuto, though, unlike Ichigo. So you have a sheathed Zanpakuto here, a sheathed Senbon Sakura. Very cool. You can see the hilt and all that. It's very small, and I'll actually go ahead and bring in the actual Senbon Sakura right here. You can see it's a ton bigger. It's a lot bigger, which is really nice because it makes it look a lot more awesome when you actually have it on the shelf right there. So very cool. Now, if you want to give him the sheathed Senbon Sakura, all you got to do is just pop it onto this ball joint right here. And there's actually a very good amount of space. There we go. There's actually a very good amount of space with that in there to actually have it looking really nice. Like, one issue that I had with some of these Figma Demon Slayer figures is that the sheath just makes it kind of tough because it's just always in the way. And yeah, see, you can't even have the sword in there because you pop it up and then the sword just pops right out. The hilt of the sword just pops out. So I like that with this one. You don't have to worry about that. You can see the hilt is staying in there nice and secure. But if you want to actually have him holding Senbon Sakura, all you gotta do is pop off the hilt right there and slide his Zanpakuto into his hand right there. And there you go. Now you have him holding Senbon Sakura, looking amazing. And I'll just bring you Ichigo and Zangetsu here so you can see how they look holding their Zanpakutos together, looking just absolutely terrific. And with Senbon Sakura here, so you have, of course, the option to have him with the full sword, but if you know Byakuya, then you know about a little thing involving just the hilt of Senbon Sakura here. So yes, you get it included, just the hilt part of Senbon Sakura. You can see the entire blade is gotten rid of. And if you don't understand why this is included, it's up on top of the standard hilt right here, because that's just for the sheath. This is literally just to have him holding just the hilt of Senbon Sakura. And the reason why is because this is actually Byakuya's Shikai. If you already know what Byakuya Shikai is, feel free to skip ahead a little bit because I'm actually going to go ahead and explain it because it is a little bit weird. Like, if someone just sees him holding a hilt, they're going to be like, what the fuck is he doing? But it actually has something to do with Byakuya's character and his powers. Powers, a Zanpakuto, of course. So how Byakuya's Zanpakuto works, Senbon Sakura, is the entire blade of Senbon Sakura actually scatters into like a million tiny little pieces, and then he just uses them to fucking eviscerate people. Like, they're supposed to look like Sakura blossoms, and they just kind of storm around and they just tear you apart, basically. And his Bankai is literally, he just drops the sword into the ground, and then these like fucking giant, like building-sized blades come out and just thousands and thousands of tiny little blade pieces right here that just storm and just kill everything. That is how his attack works. It's the coolest thing ever. There's like a scene in the Rescuing Ruki arc, the Soul Society arc, where he confronts Ichigo on this bridge and he just stands there. The entire sword just like goes away. Ichigo's just standing there in silence, like, what the hell? And then Ichigo just gets fucking like eviscerated by it. It's so damn cool. One of my favorite Zanpakutos, and it is really awesome that you get just the hilt right here so you can have him holding Senbon Sakura like that. It would have been awesome if we actually got some cool little like effect pieces, like something that plugs in right here and you could have it like with a cool like cherry blossom effect going on, or maybe even a backdrop piece of some of the blades from the Bankai popping up. Would have been very cool as well, but alas, didn't decide to give you any of that. They put all the budget of this figure into the figure itself. And I can appreciate that, but it certainly would have been cool if we could have gotten some awesome Senmon Sakura effects. So final thoughts on the SH Figuarts, Byakuya Kuchiki and Ichigo Kurosaki, the 1,000-Year Blood War Bleach figures here. I like them quite a bit, actually. I'm pretty darn happy with them. Obviously, I like Byakuya a little bit more because he's my favorite character of the series, but Ichigo is still very, very, very good. And I will say on that note, I don't actually think Byakuya is that much better than Ichigo. I would say he is better overall, but it's certainly not by a lot. I do think the Ichigo figure is pretty darn solid. I am definitely looking forward to seeing how Renji turned out, and Kenpachi and Toshiro for sure. And I do hope that the line will continue. They do also have the Dual Zangetsu Ichigo coming out. I don't know anything about that because it's all from the 1,000-Year Blood War, so I don't know if I'll pick that up since I got this one. I was planning on picking it up, but then I decided to grab this one, and I like this outfit a little bit more personally, so I'm kind of okay with it unless I watch reviews of it and people say it's awesome. He does come with some Getsu Tensho effects, so that could be pretty darn cool. But yeah, I really hope that they will continue to give us more characters. There's plenty of Bleach characters I would like. Obviously, I know a lot of people would probably want Aizen, but I know a lot of people want Yoruichi as well. I know people want Urahara a lot. But me, I want more of the original gang, man. I want Orihime, I want Uryu, and I want Chad. I love Chad. I don't care what anybody says. Chad's one of my favorite characters. So yeah, I definitely hope there's a bright future, and I want Rangiku. I don't care what anybody says. I want Rangiku, man. Oh, man. But, yeah, it's very, very cool. I do hope the line will continue. That's why I jumped into it. I want to support the line so we can get more awesome characters like Byakuya, man. Yeah, pretty cool. I like these. I think if you're a Bleach fan, you should pick them up. I think you'll be very happy with them. I mean, we're getting Bleach action figures at long last. We're finally getting Bleach action figures. Let's not sit it out, man. I mean, I loved Bleach as a kid. I'm sure you probably realized it as you were watching this review. Damn, he knows his stuff. He really did love this show when he was a kid. And man, when I rewatch it, I bet you it'll all happen again. I bet you I'll fall right back in love with it. And I'm definitely excited to do that. I don't know how long it'll be, but I don't think it will be anytime soon, but it's definitely going to be a really, really fun experience reliving Bleach again as an adult. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. As for my grades for these figures, I mean, in my heart, I want to give Byakuya an S, obviously, because he's my favorite character. But I'm actually going to give Ichigo an A-, and I'm going to give Byakuya an A. I think those are the worthy grades. You know, there's some things in the articulation department, a few things in the sculpt department. I don't like that default face for Byakuya. No problems with the faces on Ichigo, though. So yeah, I think those are going to be the grades for these. So yeah, if you love Bleach, pick up the line, support the line, so it can continue. Thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give me a like, subscribe for some more Bleach SH Figuarts reviews and other anime SH Figuarts reviews and just anime action figure reviews in general. And this is DK Guillotine, signing out.